Hey everyone, and thanks for coming back to me. This is number 9 now, and I'm going to try and get 2 done this week and maybe 2 done next week, and I think that'll kind of wrap the whole thing up. But and we had problems with loading number 8 last week, but we got it done. That's up there now as well. But anyway, I arrived back just following on from last week. I arrived home on the Tuesday, and of course I didn't want the partying to stop, so I headed off to basically to the pub. And I'm not trying to glorify pubs or drinking or anything, but just trying to tell you exactly the way things were in my life at the time. And that was on a Tuesday, and I remember coming home on a Friday, and I was living above with my mother and father. And I came in the door, my father was on the phone inside on the hall table. And my dad had been at sea all his life, and he was working, he was a skipper in the tugs and fines and stuff. And he had a lot of connections in a lot of places that would for those kind of jobs. And I just remember coming in, and he was just coming off the phone, and I'd been down to town. I was after having a couple of beers, and I came up, and he's just turned around, he looked at me, and he said you're flying out. He said, you want to get in the bag packed now again? He said, because you're flying out to Finland. You're going to work on Monday. You're going to work offshore for a company called Holland Dredging. And he said, I'm sending you out there. He said, you need to straighten yourself out. He said, I'm sending you out to Finland now to straighten yourself out. And anybody who would have known my father, in fairness, like, is either a very, very brave or a very, very foolish person would argue when he was in that frame of mind. So I didn't have a whole pile more on, so I was quite prepared to roll with the punches. And that's exactly what I did. So the following Monday morning, myself and another full bag of Carol's number 1 cigarettes headed back up to Cork Airport, and the plan was we were collecting tickets up there. He didn't really know too much about the job. I didn't ask any questions. I really didn't care, to be honest with you. I didn't have a whole pile more on, so away with us. So landed up to Cork Airport. We collected tickets above there. I remember going in then just about 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Of course, where did I go? I headed straight to the bar, and I didn't think that I was going to meet anybody that was going to that job there. And went into the bar for a drink, and who did I meet inside? Only 3 lads from Cove, Mick O'Leary, Vincent Stote and Vincent Geary. And the 3 of those guys were working the job outside in Finland. And you know, sometimes things happen for a reason. And there's no doubt in the world that everyone knows me, I'm not religious or nothing that way, but things do happen for a reason. And there's some reason why I went down that road, and at a particular point in time I needed to meet them, you know. And they were just the soundest 3 lads you ever know in your life had anything to do with. They were just lovely. And straight away, in the moment I met them inside, we stood there having a drink, and they started telling me about the job and all the rest of it, and completely put my mind at ease. Now, to be fair, I wasn't stressed over it anyway, because like I said, I was happy to just go with it. But the next thing, we got on an airplane, landed again in London Heathrow of all places. And I come through Heathrow on the Tuesday, and I swear if I'd never again seen it, that was enough for me. And here I was again back on the Monday. So they had to run for their flight because they were travelling with Finnair, and they had to go straight for their flight. But I was booked on a separate flight into Helsinki with British Airways, so I was left alone again in bloody well Heathrow. Anyway, eventually I got my flight, I got my connection into Helsinki, and then I got another connection from there to a place called Kokkola up on the west coast of Finland, up kind of close up to the north of it. And eventually landed. And you know something, I want to tell you a story now again, because people think I'm a complete Amadan, but and then I'm trying to make up old things to make myself look stupid that are entertaining, but I'm not. Again, I told this to people when I came home, and I can vouch for this, and told the lads outside in the job as well. And this actually was very, very funny at the time, after it happened. But I landed maybe about 10 or 11 o'clock at night in Kokkola north, or in the west coast of Finland. And there I was, collecting my bags, and it was a tiny little airport, a bit like Cork Airport. And like I say, the old terminal in Cork. And the next thing I came out, and everyone else got their bags, and everyone else disappeared. And all I was told was there'd be someone there to collect me. I didn't know where I was going or what was happening. I was just going, like I say, rolling with punches. And the next thing, this man comes up to me, and like to tell the story now, I have to speak in tongues, okay? So excuse my Finnish accent. And this poor old devil comes up to me, and he says to me, he was old pissed. All he had was a scrap of paper. He didn't have my name at all, and he had a scrap of paper. And he says to me, he says, You see, as far as I was concerned, I was going out working for a company called Holland Dredging. But it turned out that the company I was working for was called Boscalis. And Boscalis, if you want to Google them at the time, Boscalis were this huge dredging company, and now they're even bigger than that again. Dutch dredging company that had effectively bought up every small dredging company around the place, and were at that stage controlling 70% of dredging worldwide. I mean, at that stage they owned, which I found out afterwards, they owned Westminster Dredging, which is a British company. They owned German HH. They had their fingers inside in Dredging International, which was a Belgian company. They owned Holland Dredging, and so on, so on, so on. More recently, if you want to look at the ship that was stuck on the Suez Canal, the Smith Salvage or Smith Tack, Boscalis now owns Smith Tack as well. They control everything, and genuinely one of the finest and the best companies I've ever in my entire life worked for. They were an absolute pleasure to work for, and I enjoyed my time so much with them. But anyway, I landed and I thought I was working, as far as I was concerned, I was going to work for Holland Dredging. And I'd never heard the word Boscalis before. And this fella comes up and he goes to me, he tapped me, he goes, you, Boscalis. And I thought Boscalis was a person. And I said, no, I said, Eddie Pyburn, I said. And he goes, no, you, Boscalis. And I said, no, I'm not Boscalis, I said, I am Eddie Pyburn. I said, I'm here working. I said, I'm working for Holland Dredging. So this went on and on and on. Your man kept going on to me. So in the end, I said, geez, I have to get away from this fella. So the next thing, and he had the word of English. So the next thing anyway, and I had the word of Finnish. So the next thing, I took off into the toilet and get rid of him. And I said, geez, if he's still outside there now when I go out, I'm going to have to find security or something. So the next thing I went out again, and your man's outside the door, and he says, when I went out the next time he was on a phone box down the thing, and the next thing he checked the $10 and he goes back up, and he goes to me, you, he says, you, and he just went to me, and got kind of right cross at me. So the next thing anyway, I went outside the door, and one was outside the door, but a 52-seater coach. You couldn't write it. And your man was driving the coach, and he was taught to come to the airport to collect me, and I was the only person on the bus. And just in the penny dropped at me about this Boscalis must be the company or something. But anyway, onto the coach and away off to in about an hour's drive into a city called Kokla. And we were staying, even though the job was offshore, we were dredging offshore, we were staying in a hotel. And we all had our own rooms in the hotel and our own saunas and bathrooms and all that beautiful hotel called the Hotel Nukamati. Big shout out if there's anybody ever watches this when I'm long gone. And anyway, I arrived, and the next thing, just nearly 12 o'clock at night, and met this Dutchman, Bernd was his name, he was the project manager, and he met me and just explained to me, gave me the room, and explained to me that I'd be meeting the bus at 6 o'clock in the morning to head off to the down to the docks and head away out. So which I did following morning, and went way down and got on the crew boat called the Jackie. We used to call her the Yaki or the Jackie. She was God bless her, she was like an aluminium hull, 2 jet propelled engines. She'd do 35-40 knots easy. You would have to sit into her. She was like the crew exchange boat. You'd sit into her and put on, she'd seats like airplanes, and you'd have to put on your seatbelt before your man could give her the throttle. Or Jesus, tonight she was wicked. I never seen anything as fast as her. She'd stand on her head for you. But and that was it. I went on board. I was working on a split hopper barge called the Jupiter. She was 150 foot long, and there was a few Irish people. There was a gang of Irish people out there. Some mostly lads from Cove and stuff like that. Before I went out there, my first cousin Kerry Daly had been he just left. He had come home. The job was 6 weeks on, 3 weeks off, and of course Kerry had told the lads that I was coming out and stuff, and that I suppose he kind of said to them that I was sound enough, and they really and truly they just embraced me and absorbed me into it, and there and then this whole new world opened up to me, this whole new life and this whole new world opened up to me, and I'd gone from from a bad place to this all of a sudden, this whole thing, and I took it like a fish to water, because I mean, I'm so proud of my own heritage from my father coming from Hare Island. I was brought up in boats all my entire life. All I ever knew was, when I was growing up was the water and life on boats and stuff. And then my other love was engines. And here I was outside in the Gulf of Bothnia, and I was on this huge split hopper barge, working on engines and working with a gang of lads that were just, you know, at that time I needed to meet them and I needed to spend that time. And like, we worked hard, but by God, we partied even harder. Fine big wage packet at the end of it. They were widening, or the deepening. This was a big port, and they were shipping in out there. They were making it deeper, and to bring in bigger ships. There was about maybe 12 dredgers in total. We were assigned to a dredger called Holland 1, Hollandine, which was a big bucket dredger, Dutch dredger, and there was hundreds and hundreds of men and women working on that job. And I suppose one thing I realised, you know, and one thing I took from that job was there was all kinds of nationalities, because like I said, they had bought every kind of bought up all the competition really. But like, there was Germans, there was Dutch, there was Belgiques, there was Irish, English, Welsh, Scottish, Finnish people, and that's only some of the countries. They were from all over Europe and from everywhere. And the one thing I realised is that the working man or the working woman, we can all get along fine, you know, and we all gelled together, and we brought all our own, you know, just our own personalities and everything into it, and we had so much fun and so much crack. And you know that that there's never a problem between the working people or the working class people. It's further up the line with these muppets of politicians and legislators and stuff, where all the trouble starts and all the arguing and all the fighting amongst countries, you know. And that genuinely, the working man or the working woman, we're just trying to get on with our lives and get through it. And it kind of really and truly opened my eyes for me. I spent the first 6 weeks there, and it just every day it was, you know, like, there's nothing like these where you were doing 12 hours on, 12 hours off. You're doing a week of days and a week of nights, and you know, like I said, you were working, but by God, we were partying as well. And I was young that time; we were able to do it all, and it was just unbelievably exciting life. Beautiful, beautiful country. It was, when I went up there was sunshine for 21 hours a day. And it wouldn't even get dark, so the kind of sky got kind of blue. And in the winter time, when I left that in December, it was really, really warm there. And when I left that in December, I left that in Finland the 16th of December. It was dark, pitch black for 21 hours a day, and I mean black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And so, like, in the beginning, it didn't matter whether you're working day or night, because it was bright all the time, and the same in the winter time. I remember one time waking up and hearing in the middle of the night a lawnmower, and I put my head out the window, and the sun was up high in the sky about 3 o'clock in the morning, and your man was outside cutting the grass. It's just, you know, crazy stuff for the likes of me. But there's nothing nicer, you know, and better than spending time inside the wheelhouse of a boat on a night shift with a couple of lads. And you know, everybody that was there brought their own baggage and their own problems and stuff, and we were all trying to work through it together, all nationalities, and we all genuinely, I know we did, we helped each other, and just through talk, and to use you know, genuinely, like Jerry Adams said, dialogue, or whatever he says. But that was kind of it. Came home after 6 weeks. Had 3 weeks home, and went back out there for another 10 weeks. And when I left, because we were asked to stay on longer, when I left Finland, like, so it was minus 15 degrees, and there was ice as thick could be. They had to break they had to get an icebreaker to break the ice to let us out, you know. But that's, I'm conscious of the time, sorry, so that's why I'm kind of stuttering there now. I'm conscious of the time that I have to get this done under 15 minutes. But because I just want to kind of run on with this a small bit, I'm actually going to press stop, then I'm going to press start again. I'm going to follow on with a bit of that, and because I mean, I don't want to be going on and on and on, and try to just roll on a small bit with this and see how far we go. So you'll probably get 2 of these in quick succession. All right, if you're interested, come back to me.